So we have seen the second order partial differential equation, which was the wave equation for the transverse vibration on string, for longitudinal vibration on bar. So the equations were very much similar, only a variable u was coming instead of w. So now we'll have a very much similar solution to which we had for the transverse vibration on string. Now we are going to have the solution for longitudinal vibration on bar. So this is how I'm going to express by separating of variable. So I have separated the spatial and temporal coordinates, and we know these are going to be solutions. So how are we getting this solution? We'll substitute this assumed solution into my equation. Then we'll separate those variables, the temporal variable, the spatial variable, and since they are independent, we'll equate them to a constant, and that constant is eigenvalue equal to minus omega square. Then I'll separately take spatial coordinate and omega square, temporal coordinate and omega square, and then solve those decoupled equations in space and time. And the solution are this. So this is the decoupled equation solution for in spatial coordinate. This is the solution for temporal coordinate decoupled equation. So, and must remember that c was the speed or wave speed that was equal to square root of e by rho. Rho is the linear mass density, not the volume mass density. And we also know the initial conditions u x comma 0 at time t is equal to 0 is u naught, some value of u naught at x. So at all x, the u naught is defined, and del u by del t, that is the strain or the force, is equal to u naught dot. I have defined it with respect to dot. So let's come over here, and the boundary conditions are this: u 0 comma t. So you just remember that this is del u by del t, this is del u by del x. So this is a kind of strain, and this is not a kind of strain. That's a kind of velocity. Del u by del x, that is displacement by time, that is velocity. So we can use those boundary conditions. So these are one set of boundary conditions or initial conditions. I can have multiple different ways of getting initial conditions where I have defined displacement, velocity, impulse. Then I can have momentum, kinetic energy, anything I can define. Similarly, in boundary conditions also, I have force and velocity, force and displacement boundary conditions. So I can have combination of those. So let's use whatever boundary condition are and initial condition are given. So let's use the boundary condition. So I have also earlier used this concept where I'm using the boundary conditions right now. So this is the equation which I am getting after putting x is equal to 0. That means the t of t term factor is as of now over there, and I have multiplied it with a. So the t of t cannot be equivalent to 0. If the t of t is equal to 0, that means my original solution, t of t is 0, that means my original u, that is vibration, is 0. That means there are no vibration. That means a must be 0. And when I use the strain boundary condition, I'll have this equation again in which t of t cannot be 0. That means the other term should be 0. If I going to use b is equal to 0, then I already have a is equal to 0. If I'm going to have b also equal to 0, that means u of x is 0. That means again my response is 0. That means there are no vibrations. So I cannot put b is equal to 0. That means my only solution is cos omega L. Omega is the frequency over here. It's not the W, the displacement in Z direct. It's the frequency. Omega L by C is equal to 0. That means this is the characteristic equation which is going to define how my system is going to behave. And when I use this and expand, so when the cos is 0, that means it is 0 at odd pi values. And odd pi, you must remember the cos chart directly, and you can, sorry, that was a very bad one. So, so this uh, so this was pi by 2. Pi by 2 is 1. This is 3 pi by 2. This is pi. This is pi by 2. So at all odd pi, we have cos equal to 0. And I can write omega n, that is the natural frequencies at nth position. So omega 1, omega 2. So since we have infinite number of integers possible, n is equal to 0 to infinite, we'll have infinite degrees of freedom and infinite natural frequencies. So this is matching with what we have studied in theory also. Since it is a continuous system which has infinite degrees of freedom, it should have infinite natural frequencies. And from the solution also, we are confirming that it will have infinite natural frequencies defined using this equation. Now the multiple different boundary conditions will lead to different conditions for the characteristic equation. So I have just written down the characteristic equation. So if I have such a beam, such a condition where I have fixed and free beam. So this is what we have done right now. Fixed at one end, free at the other end, there are no force. That means the cos omega L by C is equal to 0 is the characteristic equation. And the solution will look like this. The free condition, that means free at both the ends. Then this is the boundary characteristic equation which we'll get. So omega L by C is equal to n pi is the solution. And fix means it is clamped at both the ends. Over here also I'll have the boundary condition omega sine omega L by C is equal to 0. So we'll end over here. In the next video, we'll look at some numerical questions for better understanding and solving these boundary conditions also. Thank you.